The Women Beyond the Table is a community of empowered women who are rewriting the rules and taking their skills, knowledge, and wisdom beyond the table.
Hello, and welcome to the Women Beyond the Table podcast. My name is Tammy, and it's another glorious day, and I'm really excited. And I know I say that with every podcast, but I'm particularly jacked to do this podcast, and I'll tell you why. Because I have guests who are real, authentic women who are succeeding, who are pivoting, who are out there, who are doing their thing, who are making leaps forward. They're taking each step at a time. And you know what? They're women we can all relate to. And today, my guest, Julisa Medina, is no different. She's somebody who I have had the pleasure of knowing for a couple of years. And I've seen the unbelievable strides she's taken from, when we first met. That includes me too, because we've both been each other's cheerleaders. So I'm particularly, what I really love also is I'm particularly lucky to interview friends and colleagues. So that's a blessing. So I like to tell you that Julisa is a lifestyle motivator and a health and wellness mentor. She has a warrior mindset, and her warrior mindset is a catalyst for her next level performance. And there's always an amazing next level performance coming from Julisa, and she'll get into it later. When you get a chance, you got to check her out on her Instagram and what she's doing in her reels, because she is next level and she is a great performer. But Julisa never imagined dreaming or attempting to attain the unattainable. For years, she dealt with limiting beliefs, depression, and struggled with things that had occurred in her past. In her 40s, Julisa learned to love herself and start believing that she too can achieve anything she put her mind to. See, it's never too late. This realization led Julisa to study with celebrated mentors and coaches, which in turn created an immense calling to inspire others. Her easygoing and positive attitude made her a natural on social media, where she can be seen regularly uplifting and up-leveling others. It was through her daily messages on social media that Julisa learned to have greater faith in herself. She settled into her warrior status, and it was with her warrior grit and determination that Julisa was able to get past her own struggles and obstacles. In the process, Julisa gained the tools to empower others. Today, Julisa is not only a health and wellness warrior, but a WNBF Bikini Pro, and Julisa will tell us what those initials mean. Julisa is an author. Her first book, Miracle Star Above the Sky, is a children's book, and it's available on Amazon. Julisa is working on book number 2, which recounts her harrowing ordeal of molestation and rape, in the hope to reach and collaborate with other victims who are now on their journey to distinguishing themselves as warriors. So I hope that was a lot. I hope I got it right, Julisa. So all I'm going to say is, hey, Julisa, I'm so happy to have you on, and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much, Tammy, for being this incredible friend and to creating this Woman Beyond the Table for all of these incredible women that we have come to know. And I'm just truly blessed and grateful to have met you a couple years ago via LinkedIn.
Before Women Beyond the Table, we met. And yes, we met on the business platform LinkedIn. And you can find Julisa actually on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn as well. And Women Beyond the Table too, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. But we had a chance to talk and meet each other before the group was around. And even back then, for me, you were very much somebody who wanted to take charge, of your life and to move forward. And even back then, when we met, you were already making those very determined strides. So let's go back let's go through your journey, because I always like to start with the journey, the process, because how do you go from A to B to C to D? And what made you decide, to do this, to take a path? So let's start and let's, have conversation and go from there, how this all became about, this transformation, this warrior mindset, this becoming a lifestyle motivator and a health and wellness mentor, which many people are looking for, that health and wellness, body-mind connection, to come together now, especially since COVID. So why don't you tell us how it started for you?
Well, it started for me was growing up. I did not have anyone in my life that really inspired me I mean, I was surrounded by a lot of amazing people in my life, but growing up, I love my parents, but they had these paradigms. And then the people that you hang out with, it just, a lot of times we have these struggles and obstacles in life, but we try to get through it. And so moving forward, I studied exercise science and nutrition when I was in college. I studied massage therapy. I was a massage therapist for years, but still deep down inside, I felt lost. And I know there's a lot of people out there that still feel lost and wonder, what am I going to do with my life? Where am I going? I don't know who to hang out with. I don't know who to look for to find someone that I can actually open up to or talk to, because I didn't have that either. And so back then, I was just very depressed. I had been through some traumas with being raped at the age of, wow, my gosh, I think I was 21. I went on a date and I was raped. And
And
prior
you
to
probably
that,
felt like you couldn't do anything about it because you went on a date with somebody and you couldn't do anything.
Tammy, I blamed myself for years. I felt like it was my fault.
That's what a lot of women, that happens to a lot of women. They blame themselves and it's not their fault. But, the psyche tells you a different story. And sometimes, the police and sometimes other people around you tell you this different story and it's terrible. It's wrong.
It's extremely wrong. And it's been over 20 years and I still remember that day. I still remember leaving, calling the cops, going to the hospital, getting checked. I still remember the outfit that I was wearing after 20 something years. And for years, I blamed myself. And a lot of people blame themselves, but it's not their fault. It's not their fault. And that's why I, as a woman and as a person, had to overcome these struggles and obstacles besides getting molested and raped. And I acted out. I acted out because of things that had happened to me. But then I realized in my 40s, when I really learned to love myself before my first competition and learned that the healing of release and letting go of my past has helped me to move forward in order to do what I'm doing now, because I harbored what happened to me.
Let me ask you a
And
question. Were you able to find so you had these feelings, based on, what had happened to you, and were you able to find eventually mentors, somebody to speak to who was able to help you move out of, or like any kind of programs that helped you to move out of that space in your head where you were like, I'm lost, I'm depressed, I've been molested, I've been raped, I have nobody to talk to, and it's my fault. Like, how did you make that mindset shift to get out of that so that you could start doing things? Because there is a gap between 21 and 40.
yeah. So moving forward, like during that time, I had sought therapists, but I honestly didn't feel, and there's nothing to do with any therapist out there, it was just me, felt like it really didn't help me. It really didn't help me to move forward because I was still acting out, still not loving myself, feeling so insecure, staying in relationships throughout those years because of what had happened to me. And these relationships were not fueling me. They were honestly hindering me, but I was hindering myself because it was how I was feeling internally. So during all those years, exercise actually helped. Just being, it raised my vibration. Exercise really helped me. That's why I exercise 5-6 days a week. And I still do because I love it. I love
Julisa,
it.
can I just say, you've always fascinated me because you are always like so fit and working out, and on your social media, it's like you are out there like showing the world how to do moves, how to exercise. And what always fascinated me is even when I would be talking to you, or you'd be on a Women Beyond the Table call, you'd be on a treadmill or you'd be working out at the same time, like multitasking. So that, yeah, I could totally see, because clearly to become a warrior, it is a mental thing being a warrior, but there's also a physical aspect to being a warrior. You don't call somebody a warrior because they're like a weakling, because they're like frail. You call them a warrior. And because you brought the mind body connection, like you discovered it on your own. You saw by working out that it gave you certain, like in the endorphins and things that you needed to still your mind so that you could, look at things differently, and also probably released a lot of stress, the daily workout, which is so important. People don't even realize a lot of people, they work out they don't work out for the right reasons. They work out so they can eat more, which is, to me, is a ridiculous reason to work out. But there's so many benefits in your mind and the stress levels that we carry around to working out. So when you started discovering this, when did you decide to actually compete? Because that's a whole other level of working out as far as I'm concerned.
So thank you so much, Tammy. I appreciate it, because working out definitely raises your vibration, and it's about finding what helps you, what makes you happy, what brings you joy. And that till this day brings me joy. And so in 2016, I decided I was going to compete. I met someone in Texas who saw me working out and said, "Have you ever thought about competing?" And I said, "I have." But it was the fear that was holding me back.
Right.
That fear tends to hold back a lot of things in life.
Am I good enough? Am I too old? Am I too this? Am I too that? Yeah. Well, that's something.
Yeah.
We all have that women especially have that imposter syndrome thing going down. Yeah.
And you know what? It doesn't matter what age you are. It does not matter. You could be 20 something to 80 something. You can go after a dream or goal or desire. And the only person that limits themselves is ourselves. So I realized that person really inspired me, because they said, "Well, why don't you sign up?" I didn't sign up when I got back home to Massachusetts. And then we got on a call. He goes, "Have you signed up yet?" I said, "No, I haven't." He goes, "Okay, I'm giving you to the end of the week to sign up for the competition this fall." I'm like, "Oh my God, really? I got to sign up?" So I signed up.
See, he believed in you. He saw something, That's a good person who pushes you to do something, because they see it, and they're not like there to hold you back. They're to push you forward. Yeah. They come into your life for a reason, by the way.
Yes. And I felt like he came into my life. I haven't spoken to him in years, but he came into my life for a reason. And so I signed up. I started training for the competition, found a trainer, found a coach, and then things started getting into alignment. But then I went through a breakup, which was hard for me at that time. Even at the age of 40, I honestly thought about committing suicide again.
Wow. So that wasn't your first rodeo with those thoughts of suicide?
No, it wasn't. I attempted at the age of, I think it was 24, when I was 18, and then 24. And then, yeah, it was, and basically, I did a paper in college about this, and it was a cry for help. A cry for help, because I was so lost. I didn't know where I was going. I felt like I didn't have anybody, but I had family and friends.
Right. But did they notice? Did your family and friends notice that something was wrong or off?
Not really, because I put a mask on.
You pretended? Yeah, you pretended.
That's why whenever I come in contact with people, I smile at them and I say hi, because you don't know what people are emotionally going through in their life. They could have a mask on, like I did for so many years. And when people found out that I was depressed for years, they're like, "You always seem so happy and so vibrant." I'm like, it was a mask. It was.
Yeah, I've heard that, where people, like, they didn't see it coming. They're shocked, but you don't know it. And what you said is very powerful, by the way, that you don't know what people are feeling. And they put on a mask because they have to function, and they have to go out into the world. Not every suicidal person's laying in bed in a ball. They're going out there and they're having these thoughts. But maybe if you give them some kindness, because you don't know what people are feeling, that can make a difference for them. And that was really powerful, by the way. I just want to tell you that, because you don't know what people are thinking. It's true. And most of us don't think about what other people are thinking. If we see somebody who's not looking too friendly, we think, "Oh, what an ass." But like at the end of the day, you don't know what they're feeling. You don't know what's going on in their life. So that's true. That's very, very true. So you went in, you started training for this competition, and you said, "Okay, You know what? I bet you when you were training and you were like, because you look amazing, by the way. You're amazing look, but when you were training, you're probably like to the breakup guy, like you don't even know. This is like, I'm going to next level, babe, like later, you know? So I'm sure when you started doing this working out and this training, getting ready for this competition, you're probably like in a completely different mental zone.
I was, and I met some people, including, you know how people come into your life for a reason?
Yeah, or
I met,
season. Yeah, but for a
yes,
specific reason. And God brings them there. There's no coincidence.
no, it's a reason, season, or a lifetime.
Right.
And I've had people come in and out of my life. Some people have remained in my life. And my friend Nick, we're not close. And he's the gentleman who came into my life during this whole process. And he was helping me with training besides my coach and another friend, Beth. And it really helped during that breakup, but it also gave me this sense of strength of feeling like I can do this.
And
I
that
have
people
these,
care. They want to help you. Like they're people
yes,
who care, and there's like you have a community around you.
yes. And they were friends that I've had for years, couldn't understand my journey, but I was okay with that because this was my journey for me. This is things I wanted to do for myself, for my self-worth, for my growth. And a week or two before going to my first competition was a day before my 41st birthday. I looked in the mirror, Tammy, and I said, I love me.
Wow, that's an incredible moment. Like, did you get emotional?
I got a little emotional and I said it again. And I was like, I didn't realize that I really didn't love all of me.
And you know what also is very, very impactful, what you said. You said like a lot of friends you had for a long time didn't understand what you were doing. But look where you came from and where you were at, that you just didn't care what anybody thought. Like that to me is a person who's like going to success, because you know what? If you let other people's thoughts in, then you're just aiding to any limiting beliefs. But when you feel good about what you're doing, you feel good enough about yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. That's really powerful. It doesn't matter. You do what you do, and it's because it's for you. You don't have to do anything for anybody else. And you know what? I'm going to tell you what my uncle used to always say to me. My uncle is a psychologist and he's a really smart guy. And I used to say to him when I was younger, I used to go, oh, this one drives me crazy and this makes me crazy. And he's like, Tammy. And it took me a long time to understand what this meant. Tammy, nobody makes you crazy. You let them make you crazy.
Mm.
There's nothing out there that can do anything to you unless you allow it. It's how you're thinking. And I didn't get it. I was 22 years old, 21. I didn't get it. It was everybody else, or it was this thing or that thing, or this one, this is like happening and that's happening. But at the end of the day, I wasn't ready to take control and say, no, I don't care what's happening. This is good for me. I'm doing this is good for me. And you did that, like you found it. And there are many people who never find it. They just never find that. It's always about everything else. So when you went into the competition, so how many competitions you do? Because you said my first competition.
So in 3 to 3.5 years, I did 7 fitness competitions.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
That's amazing.
Thank you. It was powerful because what I started studying a year or two after that first competition was mindset and how what we focus on comes into our life, either positive or negative. And so what I was doing at the time for my first competition, I was writing out about winning 3 trophies. Writing out winning 3 trophies, kept writing out every night, seeing myself, feeling myself,
So you were
being up on
manifesting.
stage. I was.
Yes. Did you know you were manifesting, that you were actually doing that or intentioning?
I honestly had no idea because prior to that, I wasn't really studying this information by Esther Hicks and Bob Proctor and all of that. So I wasn't aware that I was doing it. I just felt this desire to do it, to write it out and see myself.
That's amazing. So that was all intuitive.
It was.
Wow. And then you were like smashing it at the competitions. And how did you feel, like, as you were like going from success to success, like, did that completely like put you into, I can do from like, I can do this to I can do anything mindset kind of thing. Like the sky's, there's no limits here. Like, because once you, like, I find that motivation comes after you take each step, right? But then once you see success and it feels good and you see the reaction, you know, you're like, hey, I did that. I could do other things. Like, did that come together, or were you still like, like, okay, so this is my road and this is my lane and I'm going to do more over here, but I'm not going to go like do anything else. Did you have a complete shift in what you can and can't do?
I did. And I had a shift. I realized that I had the potential to do more and achieve more. Hence came the children's book.
Right. I was gonna say, because I know you became an author and you're on your second book, but I remember also that you had been in like a whole competition just on for women over 40. And you placed so high in it, and there were so many applicants. And that's like a big tribute, like, you know, fit and amazing women over 40. Like, not everybody can get into those kind of like that recognition. And so tell us a little bit about that before we get into the authors and what that was like. And because I saw the images, you had shared some from the shoot and they were just unbelievable. And to play so high is amazing. So tell me about that, because that's a whole other thing from a workout competition.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a full-time job competing. It's a mental, physical, it's everything. You have to have that determination, that willpower, the desire to prep your food the whole week. Yes, to work out almost every single day, and to find the right mentors and coaches that are going to guide you. You need to implement what they're saying, but to have those people who are looking at your body and saying, no, you need to do this, eat this. And so it was really empowering that I was able to get my pro card the second year. And I am blessed that I've won a trophy in every competition except for the last one. But I'm blessed and grateful because the trophy is just a piece of metal, but it signifies my journey, my growth, my sheer determination and persistence to not give up on me, but also to empower others that they too can do this as well and never limit themselves.
That is really neat. So when you did this thing for women over 40, it was all about women over 40 who have like achieved great fitness and who are like, you know, examples for what our bodies can do and how our bodies, you know, are made to be.
Yes. So when you go in the competition, there's different categories, and you can submit to do overall, to be over 30 or over 40. And there's bodybuilding, there's bikini, there's figure competitions. So the first two I did bikini, and I also the third one and fourth I did a figure competition and a bikini. And when I was competing, I was blessed that I envisioned myself on stage, and it's not just over 40. It was like I had mentioned, there's different categories. So you're also, if you're doing overall, you're competing against young people your age too.
Right.
So, but there's like with these competitions, you pay. So you pay to compete in these different categories. And I was determined. I saw myself. I was determined to say, because I wanted to do this for 10 years and I limited myself. So for me, it was about inspiring others. And I was always excited to do it. I was excited to get up on stage. And for my first one, I was nervous. But one of my girlfriends, Cheryl, said, think of a mantra. Think of a mantra when you get up on stage. I'm like, I don't know what mantra. She goes, how about I'm sexy and I know it. So it's
interesting. So they have mantras and so there's a very strong mind-body connection when you're actually, they're telling you, like your coaches and people are saying, like, think this, have these thoughts, because it's connected to how you feel and how you come across, which is really interesting. It's not just physical. There's a lot of mental, physical because the body, everything with us is entwined, the physical and the mental. So then when exactly did you decide, like, you know what? Okay, I've done this. I've been competing. I've got this. I want to start writing a book. And what was it that made you decide? Like, what was, a miracle star above the sky, a children's book of all things? Like, how did you decide this is a lane I want to take, writing a children's book first?
So when my niece is going to be almost 4 in October, she's going to be 4 in October. And when she was still in her mother's belly, during that time, her mom, my sister-in-law's mom, but first let me backtrack. So my brother and sister-in-law desired a child for 10 years. They did in vitro twice, miscarried twice. And 9 days before my sister-in-law's hysterectomy, she found out she was pregnant naturally.
Wow.
Which is a true blessing, hence the book Miracle.
That is a
Miracle Star.
Especially before a hysterectomy.
Yes, exactly. And so she is full of joy and light. But during that time when my sister-in-law was pregnant, her mom was going to throw a baby shower. And in lieu of cards, she asked for children's books for people to bring a signed children's book. And that idea manifested in my mind. And I started lingering. I'm like, wow, could I do this? The idea of writing my own book. I'm like, why buy a book? Why not create my own book for my niece? So,
Right.
those ideas start coming and you're like, but then you start getting that self-doubt. Could I really do this?
Right. Could I publish? Could I write? It's going to come together. Yeah. And you did it. You did it all. And you published and you got on Amazon. You got it on Amazon.
I did it. It's been a long process. There's been a lot of crying. But you know what? I'm blessed and grateful that I believed in myself to write this book, to hire an illustrator, and to actually put it out there in hopes that others would resonate with anyone who desires a child, that they pray to God and or the universe to manifest a child into their life and what they envision transpiring once this child is here. And I have people stopping me and they're like, well, is this a children's book or is it an adult book?
But don't you find, like, even children's shows, like, they do resonate to adults, because we all have a child in us, but it's everything that you tell a kid young, that child's going to grow and it becomes an adult. So everything resonates. But I think it's incredible that you did it, because, not everybody's an author for sure. And then now you're writing a second book, which means that, you're out there again, you're putting yourself out there. So what is, this book is very different type of book. And when did you get, like, say to yourself, like, I want to, because you've always been open about your past and what you've gone through. But when did you decide, like, you know what, I want to put this out there in a book and I want to help others? Because I know that you are helping others, because I see you on social media and I see the messaging that you're delivering about believing in yourself. You're very inspirational, and you're using your body also to show people, like, that mind-body connection. But the book just seems like you're going into, like, way into, like, this direction and going further with, reaching out to people and sharing even more of yourself, because you really are sharing on Instagram, which I think is a wonderful thing. I would, and on social media, I wish I could do that. I'm not good at that, but you're really great at that, and you know what you're doing. So tell me about this, because this seems really like way more of Julisa, the second book. Am I wrong or am I right?
It is way more about me. It is, first and foremost, I have other ideas of children's books that I've already written down. I already started another book, but this book, I'm going to get emotional. I'm going to collaborate with others who have been molested and raped. And this book is about my story of what happened to me. So digging deep, looking back, which actually causes
cathartic.
Yes. And I have cried hysterically, but it's a release. I feel like crying is a release, and it's okay to cry.
It is.
And yeah, it's It's my story of what transpired and how I was able to overcome, how I was able to get through it. And that's why I want this book of different stories of us sharing, because I know of many people who have been molested and raped that they're still struggling. They're
Right.
struggling inside.
Unfortunately, it's a huge group of people who've gone through this at some point in their lives. Yeah. And it's something that we bury almost, you know?
Yeah, we try to bury it, but it's still there. It's still there. And for years, I had certain triggers. Like I couldn't watch certain shows because or TV, like if someone getting raped, I had to turn away and I would start crying. And it would put me on a downward spiral.
Right.
And I hope that this book of different stories of how to overcome certain struggles and obstacles, such as molestation and rape, could empower others to seek the help that they need, to find the love within and say, it's okay to cry, it's okay to release, it's okay to say, scream and
Right.
shout, and let it go, and to move forward and find that strength within to become the person that they are meant to be, because we're here for a reason. We're here for a purpose on this earth. And it's about finding that purpose, finding that joy, but finding it within so we can hopefully empower others to find it.
Right. They can find their relief and they can go forward. Yeah. That's an amazing mission that you have. It's a beautiful mission. And I wish you a lot of success with it. So let me ask you a question. Like, you know, we talked about, like, clearly what you're doing lights you up. So I'm not going to ask you what lights you up. And you've already discussed like the different struggles that you have. Can you tell me a couple of your like daily positive habits that you have, you know, developed and acquired that, you know, start your day off the right way? Can you share some of those daily habits that you do?
Yes. I through studying with some mentors and coaches, I've learned to create habits in order to raise my vibration early in the morning, and so that I can foresee this positive day coming. So what I do is I wake up and I look up and I say, I'm excited for today. I'm excited. Today is going to be an amazing day.
Mm-hmm. So you're
So I put my,
manifesting intention in your day. Yes.
yes, putting the intention out there and feeling it. But we can't just say it, but feel it. Feeling is a vibration. Feel it. So I go, I make my coffee as I'm listening to my life script. I put my earbuds in. I make my coffee. I come back. I drink my water, hydrate, and so then I start meditating. I meditate for 5 to 20 minutes, depending on whatever I feel that morning. I put on a YouTube for meditation. And then immediately after meditation, I journal. I journal whatever comes to my mind, what I envision during my meditation. Just like yesterday, I was envisioning myself flying up in the air and seeing myself flying, and it was powerful. And I feel like our meditations, like visualizations and dreams, have a meaning in our life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about actually dissecting what that meaning is. And so go ahead.
So that like it sets your day up. Your day. Do you see, like, when you don't do your morning routine for some reason, do you see, is it like reflected? Is the day different for you if you don't get a chance to do that or get up? If you say, hey, you know, I'm just sleeping in today, I'm not getting up, I don't care, you know, like, do you see a completely different day, or is it pretty much, you know, you're okay?
I feel a lot better when I do those routines, especially when I journal. I write out 5 things that I'm grateful for and 5 affirmations, positive affirmations, like gratitude affirmations. So it honestly gets my day going. I feel better. I'm envisioning. And even if like I start having a down day, because nobody's day is going to be perfect. None of us are perfect. And I don't portray that on social media because there are times I get sad. I still get sad, but I know how to shift it. And by shifting it is like dancing. Sometimes
Yeah,
I'll
you
dance
dance.
through the
I
day.
see you dancing. You're always moving and dancing, and movement does a lot. One of the members in our group is a psychologist, and she does a lot through movement, Janice, and it does work. Movement is an amazing thing. As a matter of fact, one of the other people I interviewed, Allison, like that's what she does with her kids. And Teresa, they're like, move, you got to move your body. I even have this app that says every couple of minutes, it's like, get your ass up and move. That's what the message is. No, because if you just stay stat, you have to walk, you have to move around. Your body needs it. Your mind needs it. Absolutely. So let me ask you a question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Writing more books, doing, becoming, like doing programs. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself traveling the world. I see myself writing other books. One of my passions is photography, taking photos of different architecture, different nature, environments, embracing the cultures. I see myself having this amazing business where I can travel the world and empower others through motivation, health and wellness, mindset, because the mind is what controls the body and creates our results. And I don't feel like a lot of people want to work out and lose the weight, but it all starts with your mind.
Right. And it all starts, replacing negative habits with positive habits before you can do anything. Like I see people that are on these quick loss diets and they're taking pills or whatever they're doing. And I'm like, but you still don't know how to eat. So eat properly. You haven't changed your head to develop a lifestyle that's healthy. So yeah, I think traveling the world and setting up like clinics where people could come in and you show them the mind-body connection and working out and how that works could be a really great career like path. And I could see you definitely doing it. So I could see you all over the world.
Well, I'm actually probably not going to set up clinics. I'm going to just be able to do it virtually.
Do it virtually. Okay. But if you're traveling, when I say clinic, I don't mean like a physical place. I mean like a day or, come meet Julisa today, tomorrow, and she's going to lead a workout and you're going to meditate together and you're going to do a mind body transformation. And she's going to inspire you, like that kind of a thing. So, we both mentioned Women Beyond the Table. So give us, because we're coming to the end of the interview, please give me what Women Beyond the Table means to you or what it, represents for you.
So Women Beyond the Table, what it represents for me, what it means is that it's women coming together from all walks of life, different ages, different cultures, coming together as one and moving forward together. We are embracing one another. We are loving on one each other. We're supporting each other. I think it's important to support and to have this amazing energy of love and passion.
And acceptance, yeah.
Yes. And we come together as women. Instead of being catty, we support each
competitive, other. Yeah. When business like cutthroat, cutting each other's throats, because we're there, support each other, and we're a community. So that's I agree 100%, and I'm glad you feel that way. So I just want to let the audience know that Julisa can be found on Instagram. She's official Julisa Medina. She can be found on Facebook at julisa.medina.965, and we'll have all of this in the question is descriptive. And on LinkedIn, she's Julisa-Medina with a number afterwards, which I will put on descriptive, but she's on all three media channels. And her email is julisamedina1030@gmail. And Julisa is amazing. And she is offered to be, and I love this, a morning accountability buddy, which means that if you need somebody to keep you accountable to getting up, doing your thing, meditating, exercising, if you need inspiration, she's that accountability person to help you get there in the morning. So don't ask her to do this for you in the afternoon. You got to get up in the morning. you got to move your body, and you got to do positive things for yourself. So anybody in the audience who wants, please reach out to Julisa. Everything will be in the descriptive as well. And you will have a beautiful, wonderful, kind, compassionate, but really in great shape morning accountability coach and partner. And with that being said, I would like to say thank you, Julissa, so much for being with us, for being with me, for sharing your light and your journey of strength and triumph with the listeners. And I'm really glad that you said yes to being on.
I am glad to. And thank you for having me, Tammy. And I truly appreciate you, your friendship, and Woman Beyond the Table.
I'm into that, sister. Friendship forever.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Ciao for now.
Bye. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. We would love your support, so please leave us a review wherever you listen to this podcast. If you are interested in hearing more of the Beyond the Table podcast, please subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. Check out the show notes to find out how to reach us, and remember, you are strong, intelligent, and sensational. You are Beyond the Table.